Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Let's talk about some trucker news. It's time for trucker news. For you guys that don't know, you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and checking me out. If you like what you see later on, if you've watched the majority of it, give me that thumbs up. Think about subscribing. You know, this is what we do around here. We talk trucking business. If you want to talk about trucking and health, check out my other channel, link in the description down below. Check me out over there. But this is trucker news. We talk about the news stories that I think matter. You know what I mean? It's my choice, so I choose them. But I hope this helps people out. I know, you know, I don't have time to go through all these. If I wasn't doing trucker news, I wouldn't look through all these stories. So I look through them all. I try to bring the ones that are the most relevant to the industry and bring them to you in a easy to listen to format. You know, if you're riding down the road and you got YouTube Premium, you know, you could play this in the background with the screen off and just listen to it. You know, it's like podcast-esque, I guess you should say. Kind of like my live shows I do here. I do a lot of live shows. You can just listen to those. There's very rarely anything you need to see on them. So now we got all that advertisement out of the way. Let's get down to business. First story I got for you. TFI needs drivers. I mean, find me a trucking company that don't need drivers these days, right? But TFI, the formerly known as UPS Freight, T-Force, they call it, a division of TFI. I heard somebody say the other day, Transport America bought UPS Freight. No. TFI owns Transport America and CFI, I believe. They bought UPS Freight. They renamed it T-Force Freight, and they need drivers. That's my first story of the day. 5 fires have led to Daimler to recall some 2022 Freightliners. So if you got yourself a brand new 2022 Freightliner, go check out that recall notice. We'll get into that. FM radio is coming to the CB. Most CBs transmit over AM frequencies. Now they're bringing it into FM to the modern age. So when the guy says, "I ain't got no panties on," and the other guy responds, "Shut up, stupid," it'll be crystal clear. So we'll talk more about that. I got some fuel tax info, some IFTA updates. You know, every quarter most states readjust and all that. I got a great website. Go to my channel and search a video called IFTA. You know, it's got a bunch of IFTA stickers on the thumbnail. Check that out. In the link of that, boy, there's a website on there that updates the IFTA like religiously. Very easy to use website. Check that out. Go watch that video. If you don't understand IFTA, you're losing money on fuel. I'd almost bet you are. So get to know IFTA. I got some updates on some states that are adjusting and on October 1st at the end of at the beginning of the new quarter. Kind of a sad story here. Everybody wants to hear this, but trial begins for the driver charged in the death of the animal rights activist. So we'll get into that story a little bit, but basically there was an activist trying to give some water to some pigs and a truck hit her. You know, we'll talk more about that. It's a sad story. And this one, not in the news on the trucking websites. I found this one just in my local Minneapolis news. Produce warehouse for sale. I think we should all go in and buy this cold storage warehouse. I'm just saying. It's in St. Paul. They want $5 million for it. $5 million. I wrote it down there. $5 million they want for this. I think we should all pull our money together and buy this cold storage. And I swear to God, it'd be the best run cold storage ever. If you showed up at your appointment time, I would make you sit no more than 5 hours before I gave you a door. I mean, I'd run it high and tight. But anyway, that's the stories today. Let's get into them. Let's go through them. First story of the day, this TFI deal. TFI needs drivers, guys. It's the industry right now. If you're not making a boatload of money, I suggest you rethink your situation a little bit. TFI needs drivers at a leaner, meaner UPS Freight successor, it says. Company works to seat trucks amid post-acquisition attrition as it cuts sales people. Okay, so it's cutting sales people, but it needs drivers. TFI International bought UPS Freight with plans to make the LTL carrier leaner and meaner, a turn phrase of Alan Bernard, likes to use. While the company is implementing their strategy, including recent cuts to salespeople, one thing it needs more of is truck drivers. I suggest, here's my thoughts on this. I'm not going to read this whole story because we all know every company needs drivers. Here's my take on this. TFI, train those salespeople to have a CDL. This day and age, you might make more with a CDL than you are selling freight over there. I don't know. That's just my thought. That's a quick news story. I'm not going to put a lot of time into that. I'm not going to run a commercial for TFI needing drivers. If they want to advertise on the Cash is King network, by all means, pop that checkbook out and come holler at me, the right way. Let's get to that Freightliner story. 5 fires lead Daimler to recall certain 2022 Freightliner Cascadias. 460 unit recall focuses on production in Cleveland, North Carolina plant, which is odd because normally, the Mexico plants are known for the lower quality. Just saying. It's just the way it is. Daimler Trucks North America is recalling a few hundred of its flagship 2022 Freightliner Cascadias after 5 fires caused by misdirected exhaust tip lead to the melting of underbody components. The issue expected to affect less than 3% of the recalled trucks built between April 1st and July 12th at DTNA Cleveland, North Carolina manufacturing plant. They have been no known crashes or injuries because of it. Sorry, had a little stumbling there. On vehicles built with a Cummins engine and battery boxes mounted between the frame rail and the exhaust pipe outlet may have been misinstalled with the tip facing toward the battery boxes. In some cases, the exhaust heat may melt the battery boxes and result in a fire. The exhaust can leave residue on surrounding components which can melt and emit a smell of melted materials. I don't know why you would buy a Cascadia and get a Cummins. I don't know. Unless you, cause to me, you get a Cummins when you need big power. This is Cash's thoughts on trucks and engines. If you want fuel economy, you get yourself a Detroit. If you need big power, you get yourself a Cummins. And that's how you do it. It's that simple. ... It's just how I see it. So why, because a Freightliner is not a heavy built enough truck to be pulling oversized stuff. When I say big power, I mean the 565 Cummins, you're going to be pulling oversized. You're going to be pulling 100,000 pounds through the Rocky Mountains. Get that big Cummins. You're going to pull the guts out of it in 500,000 miles, but, and put it in a big heavy truck. You're pulling oversized. I don't see why you would get a little lightweight Cascadia that's made for fuel economy and put a big Cummins in it. These are my thoughts. I'm not correct on everything. As we all know, hell, I put too much out there for everybody to think I'm perfect. But that's my thoughts on it. So if you've got one of these 2022 Cascadias with a Cummins engine in it, and you got, smells like something's melted, it's not Teen Spirit. It is melted plastic. Go get that looked at. Don't get burnt to death, please, by all means. I need all the viewers I can get. And I kind of love you. So, don't burn to death. Let's get on to the next story. FM radio. FM radio is going to be in your CB now. Virtually every CB Citizens Band radio transmits in AM. Now, FM will be presumably bring better sound in the cab, just as it did before commercial radio decades ago. No CB FM won't provide the same quality sound as commercial FM radio bandwidth. Restrictions will prevent that, but FM on the CB will definitely be easier on the ears than standard AM. So hopefully, when you hear all the the rednecks on there cussing, going, your mother's big, that, and we went over that. Hopefully now it'll be a little clearer than that, because that's about what CB is to me. Boy, I hate even turning mine on these days. It is nothing more than people crying and arguing and complaining and cussing each other. I don't know. I like to pop it on occasionally When I've been sitting in a traffic backup for at least 20 minutes, I'll turn mine on and go, what lane we need to be in, just so I can hear somebody go, "Stupid, you should have had your CB on. You know what lane to be in." And then I reply back, "Oh yeah, that's right. I don't care. I'm only asking so I can figure out which lane is closed so I can get in that lane and run it up to the merge." And then I turn it off because I know that guy's eyes twitching and like veins are popping out of his head, Don't let people tweak you like that, And I'm joking, obviously. I'm joking. I would never run the left lane up until the merge point. I'm not that guy. But if you want to complain about it in the comments, by all means, do that. Leave me comments. I appreciate that. So let's get on to the next story. FM's going to be a little cleaner, basically. Fuel taxes. I got a little quick info here on fuel taxes. We're not going to dwell on fuel taxes too long. I got a couple IFTA updates. Missouri is going up in tax. Currently at 17 cents a gallon of what you buy at the pump is going to your IFTA. It will be going up 1.5 cents per gallon to 19.5 over there in Missouri. 19.5 now. So that whole area is still, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. They're all kind of low. So yeah, if the fuel's cheap, it might not be the best deal. Just saying, it might be. Double check. New Jersey is going down. New Jersey had some trouble last year, and they jumped it way up, like 8 cents. So, because, they weren't getting any revenue because of COVID. But New Jersey's going from 57.7 down to 49.4. So, a little relief for that New Jersey. A little relief. Could be good, could be bad for you. I don't know. It depends on where you buy your fuel and all that fun stuff. Now let's get to this. Trial begins for driver charged in death of animal rights activist. Sad story. I hate to see anyone dying before, old age gets them, honestly. I wish old age could take us all. That way, it wouldn't be any tragedies, you know what I mean? But, the trial begins for death of animal rights activist Reagan Russell has been delayed. The trial of the death of the animal rights activist has been delayed. A justice of the peace was not present at the Burlington Providence Offenses Act Court, where the trial was set to begin on Monday, forcing a delay of the trial. Russell was killed during a demonstration activity outside of a Burlington slaughterhouse when she was struck by a truck while giving water to pigs in a livestock trailer. Now, I hate that someone died, but let me tell you, when you're not supposed to be somewhere, shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? I'm sure the slaughterhouse, I'm sure the truck driver, I'm sure none of them appreciated what she was doing. And honestly, she wasn't really helping those pigs. They showed a picture of it. She had like a little 1-gallon container out there and a weed sprayer. And she was spraying like little tiny stream of water into the pigs into the trailer. I mean, appreciate the effort, but you're not doing a damn thing for those pigs. You know what I mean? But anyway, whatever. I hate blaming somebody for their own death, but maybe get the hell out of the way. I've seen these people protesting, where the cattle hauling comes into the slaughterhouse. I've seen people protesting there. You're blocking commerce. It is illegal to block commerce, especially on private property. A lot of these gates that they're protesting at is on private property. Why the police do not come move these people blows my mind. I mean, I don't know. It's like blocking the roadway. These people talking about the slow roll, blocking traffic to prove a point for truckers to protest. What are you even protesting? The fact that some people might have to get a vaccination if they don't switch companies? It's not even a thing yet. We're talking might have to. And they say they're gonna put it into effect through OSHA. Trucking's exempt from OSHA. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But this slow roll crap, you're blocking commerce. You should be arrested for it. And now, I'm not saying just truckers. I'm saying when these stupid protesters get in the middle of the road, arrest them. At least use tax dollars for something. You know what I mean? Let me go a little side note here. I got an asshole cousin that keeps getting arrested, and he's an annoyance in my life. I have volunteered to pay his rent to stay in the county jail, but they won't do anything about him. I don't know. Like, use my tax dollars wisely. Hell, I stroke the check every month, I told him. What's his rent over there at the county jail? I'll stroke a check at the first of every month. But anyway, let's get back to this story. If you're new to this news, I get a lot of opinion. I trail a lot. You know, it's just my nature. It's my nature. But it says the Brussels transport truck driver who was not been publicly identified is facing a careless driving charge in a Burlington court in connection with the death of the 65-year-old Reagan Russell. The traffic charge could result in a monetary fine or a prison sentence up to 2 years. Russell was killed outside of the Freeman Pork plant in Burlington, Ontario. This was in Canada, by the way, if you guys don't know. In June of 2020, Russell was participating in an animal rights protest that involved giving water to pigs before the slaughter with the group Toronto Pig Save. That's their group's name. She was struck by a Brussels transport truck hauling pigs into the plant and died from her injuries. Now, if you don't get the way out of the big truck's going to win that battle. I hate to just talk facts on this story, but if you, as a human being, get in the way of a big truck going to win. That's as simple as I can make it. The protest was held in response to the passage of Bill 156, also known as the Security from Trespass and Protecting Food Safety Act 2020. The bill allows the Ontario government to issue escalating fines up to $15,000 for a first offense and $25,000 for subsequent offenses to protesters who interfere with livestock haulers. Bravo to that. Bravo to that. You stand in the way of a damn guy hauling some livestock, and guess what? You're going to get yourself a $15,000 fine. I like that. And let's face it, if you block those livestock trucks, you're doing those animals no favor. The sooner that truck gets in there and gets those animals off that truck, the more humane. You know what I mean? Let's face it, that's more, like, hurry up and get them in there, get them off the truck. It's more humane. I mean, given I know where they're going to the forever and beyond. But at the end of the day, I think that's better than making them sit in a trailer longer than they have to. So, a lot of these protesters, you know, they don't think long-term, big picture. They think, like, what can I do to make myself feel better? Says animal rights groups have called on authorities to upgrade the charge against the truck driver from a traffic offense to a criminal offense. Toronto Pig Save has planned demonstrations at the courthouse. Russell's stepson also issued a statement calling for criminal charges. I think they should be criminal charges issued on the people that stand in the way. Thank you. See where I went there? See what I did there? Alright, so that's that story. Let me get on down here to this last story. I think, guys, we should all pull up our money and buy a damn cold storage. Like, here it is. And here's why it's on the market. You're going to like this. This is why it's on the market. It says, just east of the intersection of Jackson Street and Arlington Ave, state officials once envisioned the former Bix Produce. You guys that deliver produce in Minnesota, or you live in Minnesota, you know Bix Produce, B-I-X, Bix Produce, Big Produce. When I used to run Cisco, I used to see their guys at the same stops I was doing all the time. You know, they're big on produce. I deliver produce to them occasionally. They got a nicer, newer warehouse up there in Minnesota. I guess that's why this one was on the market. Bix Produce building as a backup morgue. That's why Minnesota bought this, as a backup morgue. That's how bad they thought COVID was going to get. Uh, it says they bought it as a holding facility for up to 5,000 bodies of victims of the COVID pandemic. Neighbors raised concerns about the ghost and evil spirits, and city leaders offered their own objections. There you go, man. I love this story. This is a great story. In any event, the plan used never materialized, and the St. Paul Port Authority now wants the building for future development. The state purchased the refrigerated warehouse at 1415 Lorient Street and the 5 acres of land it sits on from private ownership last year for nearly $5.48 million. Boy, who knew Minnesota had that much money? Fix a road, Minnesota. Just saying. Just saying. Isn't that I-94 lovely when you come in from Wisconsin right after that St. Croix scale? Oh, man. Oh, man. Must have modeled that one after a washboard. Let me tell you, it's getting as bad as I-55 down there in Arkansas. You guys ain't been through Minnesota on 94 lately, right there at the state line with Wisconsin coming in. She's a doozer. She's a doozer. Why they did not fix that this summer? And you know Minnesota, if they didn't fix it during the summer, they're not going to fix it till next spring because road construction stops in the winter. It's a bummer. Let's see. So, under pressure from St. Paul and Ramsey County officials opposed to the idea of warehousing bodies there, the state used the site instead as a storage for personal protective equipment. On Tuesday, the board of the Port Authority will meet to vote on whether to purchase a site, which now sits vacant from the state, for $5.6 million. So the state's turning a little nice profit on that. Nice profit. The property currently appraised value the purchase amount required under the state statute. The goal, according to the board document, is to flip the former Bix building as quick as possible, with the Port Authority looking to secure a letter of intent from a qualified buyer before the end of November. So hurry up, guys. Get your checkbook ready. We finna buy this thing. Port Authority would then finalize the purchase with the state and closing schedule on around December 1st. The last 2 major transactions resulted in private storage facilities, which generated little to no employment. Port Authority officials said a produce company, on the other hand, could employ as many as 75 to 100 workers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how a cold storage couldn't be going for a lot of money these days and making. But the problem is, it's like Americold and Lineage. You got the space, but you got to have people to unload trucks and load trucks. Think about that. See, that's where we're going to come into a dilemma. I might have to have my ass out there loading and unloading trucks my damn self now that I think about it. It could be bad. It could be bad. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching very much. If you made it this far, like I said, hit that thumbs up. Get after that subscription button. I do appreciate everybody. Channel memberships are available. If you're buying your own fuel, check out Mudflap down there. It's very competitive. Use my code, sign up. Get yourself $10 in free fuel. Gets me $10 in free fuel. And that's all I make off of that deal. Mudflap's not endorsing me publicly yet. Or privately. I get that $10 and that's all I get. But a lot of other things going on down there. Check out the merch tent. I know a lot of people were asking for black #DamnItBoy shirts. I made them. No one's bought one yet. So if you're one of those people asking for them, they're there. They're there. Cassius King stickers there now. So if you want a Cassius King sticker, they're there. Thinking about making some 8x10s of this mug right here. This mug right here. Everybody needs one of those on the side of the truck. An 8x10 vinyl maybe. I don't know. But merch is down there. TikTok is down there. Twitter is down there. I don't do much on those anything anymore because they don't pay me to do anything. So I don't really do a whole lot. But that's how it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other out there. Until later. Bye.